Good morning once again, my SS3 student. Mr. Diba is back on the show again to keep you posted as you stay away from school. As Y candidate and N candidate, I want you to embark on the following scheme of work or topics as per se. Keep yourself busy with the following topics on the board. The major political crisis in Nigeria, Kano riot of 1953, we'll discuss in the class in details. So go back again and go back to it and read it very well. And try to trace the immediate and remote causes of Kano riot of 1953. I've told you that it was as a result of colonialism in Nigeria for a period of 60 years. And at the point in time, the educated elite were agitating for self-government. That is what led to Kano riot of 1953. When Anthony Nahuru moved the motion for self-government at the State House of Assembly. And when the northern leaders went to Lagos to have a conference, and they were booed and jailed, they were humiliated. And in turn, when the southern leaders went to Kano on the same political issue, and they had problem and it was bloody. Many people were killed and the property destroyed. So go back and read it very well. What really led to the Kano riot of 1953? Now quickly go to Nigerian Civil War of 1967 to 1970. I've told you that Nigerian Civil War lasted for a period of 30 months. And what are the causes of this civil war? I've told you the military junta then, they were having problem, especially the Agun-Rossi, the Major General Agun-Rossi that overthrew the government of Tafawa Balewa as the Prime Minister of Nigeria from 1960 to 1966. The first time that Nigeria experienced coup d'etat, that 15 January 1956. We've discussed that in the class. And consequently, after some period of time, Gowon also toppled the regime of Agun-Rossi, and consequently Gowon continued from June 1966 to 1967, and he fell out with another warlord, Ojukwu Emeka, and eventually we experienced civil war, which was so bloody. And then trace the political implications and the consequences of the war. A lot of everything almost come to standstill, like what Nigeria is experiencing and the whole world is experiencing today, like the coronavirus, unseen enemy that is trying to ravage the whole world. During the Civil War, after the Civil War, a lot of things went wrong. That was why, consequently, the military head of state, Yakubu Gowon, introduced NYC in order to integrate Nigeria. And more programs were backed upon, and he made a statement, no victor, no vanquished, in order to make peace in Nigeria. So read it very well in your own interest. Then quickly look at comparison of federalism and confederalism. I've told you in the past that federalism or presidential system of government, we'll look at America as our model because we copy from them. Then confederalism was practiced in the ancient Roman Empire and Japan and China. But for today, no country of the day is practicing confederalism. It's outdated because of the weak nature of the system. So try to look at it very well. The major feature of federalism and major feature of confederalism, you use them to compare, to juxtapose, so that you get your point correctly in your textbooks. Then quickly go to fundamental human rights and other rights. I've told you fundamental human rights are the inalienable rights. Those rights that cannot be taken away from you except otherwise. First of all, right of life. No human being can deprive you of your life except otherwise you commit a murder and your life will go for it. Talking about dignity of human persons. No human being should be degraded except otherwise. The privacy of family life and not the rest. Freedom of speech, to form association, religion, and associations. These are the what? inalienable right that cannot be taken away from any other person except otherwise. But you want to classify it. The other rights, we have political rights, the economic rights, and social rights. Those ones may be denied. Like in Nigeria, education is not given to everybody free of charge, and it is a political right. It is the duty of parents to educate you. So that will fall under what? The social right. So try to differentiate between the fundamental human right and other rights as you go through your books. Then you quickly go to the theory of separation of powers, according to Baron Montesquieu in 1748, who propounded the theory because of arbitrary rule. He discovered that men are power drunk, leaders are power drunk. Therefore, the political power should not be vested in one single hand. That the political power should be shared among the three organs of government, especially in the federal system of government or in the presidential system of government. That the three organs of government should perform their duties differently in order to avoid arbitrary rule. That's what that young man said. And America embarked on this to improve on what this Baron Montesquieu said, to introduce checks and balances. As you are reading the theory of separation of power, try to also go through checks and balances. That the political leaders of the United States of America, the founding father of political philosophers, embarked upon. Now we look at the comparison of British and French colonial administration in West Africa. We've discussed it before that colonialism came as far back as 1900. And not only in Nigeria, the partitioning of Africa in 1885, that is Berlin Conference. We'll discuss that in the class. And the activities of colonialism lasted for a period of 60 years. The British introduced the indirect system, while the French introduced policy of assimilation and policy of associations, try to differentiate the two. And the British administration, we discussed in the class, it was more friendly, was carrying a human face, while the French policy of assimilation was wearing a masquerade face. Because political institutions were altered, that is why there was worldwide condemnation, and the French abandoned policy of assimilation and embraced policy of association. So thank you very much. Sooner or later, or very soon, we shall meet again by the time you commence your external examinations. I wish you good luck as you read your books at home. It is my WhatsApp number if you want to read Mr. Deba. God bless you.